Kevin, I want to talk about Only the Lonely at the White House, which looks like a fundraising concern. I want to cut to the chase. Is all of this angst that we're seeing about the president raising money?
Anything you want, Tom. Look, I think in terms of fundraising, it's really going to come down to whether President Trump wants to try to make a calculation beyond the January 5th runoff in Georgia. And I was speaking to sources yesterday, and they're telling me that they are still, the president and his inner circle is still trying to figure out what their long-term objectives are. Is it to get in the game for 2022? Is it to get in conservative media circles? Is it to run for re-election or to play a kingmaker of sorts in 2024? All of that is unknown. But I will tell you this, that in just a few weeks, on December 11th, when the continuing resolution is set to expire here in Washington, D.C., that could be the last opportunity that this president has to really shake up something with Congress. And Mark Meadows, his chief of staff, was on Capitol Hill yesterday. This is the final point I'll make. Meeting with Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. After that meeting, he said he couldn't guarantee that there wouldn't be another government shutdown.
Okay, well, the government shutdown. I mean, what is the president's advantage of doing a shutdown as he's packing his bags?
Well, this would be the third government shutdown in his presidency,
Yes.
should there be one, the last one having lasted more than a month. In terms of what it would mean should he do this, it would be an opportunity for there to be a fiscal fight, potentially over stimulus. This as Republicans are divided in terms of the scope of another round of stimulus.
A government shutdown when parts of the country are locking down. Kevin, what happened to the Senate yesterday? Where are they now? And how long are they gone for?
Well, they're gone at least until after the Thanksgiving holiday, and then they come back for that continuing resolution fight around December 11th, Jonathan, and you're absolutely correct. I mean, look, the positive developments on the vaccination front, this despite the surge in hospitalizations over the past couple of weeks, not just in the United States, but around the world. And, of course, what's been going on in New York City, a clear illustration front and center right now in terms of what not only people are having to face from a schooling perspective, but also from a public official and public employee perspective with transportation employees. So all of this is really amplifying the debate in Washington. But as you just alluded to, they're not going to be here for at least another week.
Well, Kevin, let's build on this. The idea, you said it's amplifying the debate. Is it? Is there a sense of urgency? And it's not just New York City. This is very important because we talk so much about New York City. But frankly, the cases are spiking in the central part of the United States. This is a real issue across the nation. Is there no urgency?
Well, you know, I think that's a great point. Yesterday, I spoke with Congressman Trey Hollingsworth, a Republican from Indiana. Indiana would have like the 35th worst COVID rate per capita in the world. So it's hitting the heartland just as much as it's hitting that, according to the Indianapolis Star. It's hitting the heartland just as much as it's hitting the cities. And to your point, in terms of the urgency, it is, but they're dug in. That's what's so fascinating about this is the positive. The positive developments on the vaccination front are having Democrats urging for there to be more stimulus, and Leader McConnell and Republicans saying that it's the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So to ride it out. So they're dug in, and there's not compromise.
You know, dug in, Tom, it reminds me of what Jamie Dimon of J.P. Morgan said yesterday. He said it's ridiculous. $1.5 trillion, $1 trillion, $2.5 trillion. Just split the baby and get something done. Is that where we're heading toward, or can they not split the baby, or are we not dealing with a Solomonic time?
Kevin, answer the question. I mean, where are we on stimulus if Jamie Dimon says it's chump change?
Well, look, I think the Business Roundtable, by working with the Biden transition team, is sending some clear signals that they're playing the short-term game in terms of what's next on January 21st. And so they're already laying the groundwork in terms of how that's going to look. I was struck by Senator Lindsey Graham yesterday, Tom, a Republican from South Carolina, who essentially said that the President Trump ought to be briefing on national security as well as on coronavirus with President-elect Joe Biden. He didn't refer to him as such, but it was a clear indication that there can still be lingering questions in the courts while also briefing the transition team.
John, are you still with us?